We've been talking nonstop about Dalton Knecht this summer. Reports keep saying his trade value is dropping, that he's slipping out of the Lakers' rotation, or that he could even get shipped out after a shaky summer league, showing that honestly didn't inspire much faith in him. The criticism has been loud, but people seem to forget the highlights Knecht already gave his team. Sure, it's very possible he does get traded or ends up stuck at the end of the bench. But let's not erase the fact that he earned starts last season and actually played really well when given real minutes. He was just a rookie. Still try to figure out where he fits with the Lakers and in the NBA as a whole. That matters. And while the bad gets all the attention, don't ignore the good moments. Like those nights where he dropped 30 points and looked like someone the team could actually build around. And yes, he really did have multiple strong games during that run in the starting lineup, where he played better than people want to admit. The good moments were there. His scoring, his three-point shooting, and even a few underrated defensive plays that get overlooked. So with that in mind, that's exactly what we're going to do today. Revisit Dalton Knecht's best stretch with the Lakers, which in my opinion came in November and early December. During that time, he started 9 games, put together arguably his best 2-week run of the whole season, and showed flashes of what he could be in the NBA. We're going to dive back into what he did for them, why he became so important to the starting lineup during that span, and even break down some game film along the way. So, let's start with a stretch from November 13th to November 29th, a 9-game run where he averaged 19 points, shot a ridiculous 52.2% from 3, and wasn't afraid to take 8 attempts a night, hitting for them while also grabbing 5 rebounds per game. He averaged 5 rebounds a game, while shooting 55.4% from the field, making it without question the best offensive stretch of his young career. Even on defense, he wasn't bad during that run, starting 6 of those 9 games and proving he belonged on the floor. Up to this point, it's easily Dalton Knecht's most impressive stretch, and hopefully not his last, but right now it's the one everyone should remember. It all started on November 13th against Memphis, where Knecht dropped 19 points while going a perfect 5 for 5 from deep, finishing with a team-high plus 17 off the bench. If you watched that game, you saw him make a real statement for his career. He showed skills no one else on the Lakers had then, and honestly still don't. His ability to curl off screens and instantly drain threes, like he did early in that game, was something that separated him and hinted at a player the Lakers might not appreciate enough. In the first quarter, he set a back screen for D'Angelo Russell to cut to the rim, pulling the defense away from him. LeBron could have hit D'Lo on that cut, but the play was clearly drawn up for Dalton Knecht, and that's exactly where the ball went. Knecht curled off a screen from Christian Wood, caught the pass from LeBron, and without hesitation squared up to the basket. Even with Luke Kennard giving a strong contest, Knecht buried the shot. And that's the kind of thing he did through the entire 9-game stretch, knocking down shots at a wild 52% from 3. After that Memphis game, he earned 4 straight starts. And in that run, he put up 24 points a night, torching teams with an absurd 58% shooting from deep, while hitting nearly 5 threes per game. Those are numbers that should have forced the Lakers to keep him locked in a rotation. But somehow, they let that momentum fade. He was hitting nearly 5 threes a night on 8.3 attempts while starting all 4 games and logging 35 minutes per game. If Rui Hachimura hadn't returned from injury, Knecht probably would have stayed in the starting lineup instead of being pushed aside again. That 5-game stretch was easily the best run of his rookie season. And let's be clear, it wasn't just him catching fire from 3. He was cutting backdoor, running the floor, and finishing at the rim with real efficiency. The Lakers' play designs leaned on him, and he responded with timely cuts, smart movement, and chemistry with both LeBron and Austin Reeves. Dalton Knecht was literally doing everything out there. For example, against San Antonio, you see him running a set with LeBron and Anthony Davis working the strong side, while Cam Reddish and Austin spaced out on the weak side. That kind of versatility should have made it impossible for the Lakers to bury him once Rui got healthy, but that's exactly what happened. The play starts with Dalton Knecht running off a back screen from Anthony Davis, while LeBron waits on the wing with the ball. Knecht cuts hard, squeezes into a tight spot, and LeBron still threads a pass. He misses the first attempt at the rim, but immediately grabs a rebound and puts it back in for an easy bucket. A few possessions later, Knecht is spotted in the corner, where he often waited for catch-and-shoot threes. But this time, with Anthony Davis and Austin Reeves pulling the defense, Victor Wembanyama protecting the rim, and Stephon Castle sliding over from D'Angelo Russell's man, it leaves Knecht a lane. He cuts backdoor along the baseline. Davis finds him perfectly, and he throws down a dunk. And then in their very next matchup against the Pelicans, He kept proving that his energy and cutting gave the Lakers a weapon they strangely didn't trust enough. This was one of Dalton Knecht's best games of the entire season, putting up 27 points on 10 for 17 shooting, including 5 of 10 from deep, while also grabbing 7 rebounds. And yes, those 5 threes gave him 15 points, but the other 12 came from him sprinting the floor and working with LeBron and Austin Reeves in transition. One example came when Knecht ran the right side of a 3-man weave with LeBron and Austin, took the pass from LeBron, and finished it off with a dunk. He kept doing that all game long. Just a few possessions later in the first quarter, he once again beat his defender down the court, and Austin found him for an easy finish at the rim. That part of Knecht's game, his ability to run the floor, stay active, and punish lazy defense, is overlooked way too often. People only talk about his shooting, but games like this prove he had more in his bag than the Lakers or their fans were willing to admit. On offense, it wasn't just his shooting. Dalton Knecht constantly made timely backdoor cuts, finished at the rim, and even threw down plays above the rim in both the half court and transition. He thrived during the stretch, especially playing alongside LeBron, Austin Reeves, and Anthony Davis, guys who drew defenders and created easy looks for him. And to be fair, Knecht gave some of that attention right back with his activity. Another key development in this run was J.J. Redick leaning into his playmaking bag to create opportunities for Knecht. Once defenses realized they couldn't just leave him open, they adjusted. But Redick got creative in finding ways to free him up. For example, in what was arguably Knecht's best performance of the season, a November 19th NBA Cup game against Utah, Redick drew up sets to showcase exactly how dangerous Knecht could be when defenses focus too much on the stars. That's the kind of coaching trust the Lakers later abandoned, which made no sense. Dalton Knecht exploded for 37 points, hitting 9 of 12 from 3, and a lot of those shots were tough ones. A few came thanks to J.J. Redick's play designs that at least got him a sliver of daylight. One example came early in the third quarter after halftime. Knecht set a screen for LeBron to trigger a handoff with Austin Reeves, which was really just a decoy to free Knecht. He sprinted from the strong side to the weak side, then got a baseline screen from Cam Reddish that bought him just enough space against Colin Sexton. Knecht caught it instantly, rose up, and drilled a 3 even with Sexton's solid contest. That tiny window was all he needed, and he punished the defense. And this is the point. There wasn't a single player on the Lakers then, or even now, who could replicate that type of shot making. The fact that they didn't lock him in as a core piece after performances like this says more about the team's decisions than it does about Knecht. What stood out most in this stretch was Knecht's ability to catch and shoot instantly, even when his hips weren't squared, and he barely had to look at the rim. Nobody else on the Lakers roster could pull that off, which made it a unique skill only he brought. Yes, there are issues with his defense and his consistency, but when you're getting that version of Dalton Knecht, or even a chance of getting it, you have to find ways to keep him on the court and in the playbook. That's why I believe J.J. Redick will still go back to him at times and try to keep him involved in the rotation. But regardless of how the Lakers choose to handle him, it's worth remembering what Knecht already did for them last season. He proved he can swing games with his offense, even if his defense remains a work in progress. The problem isn't whether he can play. It's whether the Lakers will stop wasting his talent. Keeping Knecht on the court isn't always easy, with his defense and even some offensive inconsistency. But looking back at what he can do, things literally no other Laker can, there's every reason to keep him in a rotation and use him in the right matchups. The upside is obvious, yet people have already forgotten it. This is a guy who, whenever he started, whether in that hot stretch I mentioned or across all 16 games he started last season, averaged around 17 points a night while hitting 39% from 3. If he sharpens his consistency, cleans up his defense, and grows into a more dependable player, the Lakers might actually have something real in Dalton Knecht. Sure, there are ifs involved, but he's already proved plenty on the court. This isn't theory. He's shown it in real NBA games. The bigger question isn't whether Knecht can do it, but whether the Lakers will actually give him a chance instead of burying him again. So what do you think? How do you feel about Dalton Knecht and what he showed with the Lakers last season, the highs, the lows, and what he might become moving forward? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. For me, that just about wraps things up. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you left a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss when I upload. As always, thanks for watching and have a great day or night. That's all for this one. If you enjoyed the breakdown,